How are you, you little crab? How's your graph, lad? Is it sweet? Still thinking you're a drill artist, lad? Helmets. Helmets, mate. Look at the people that you can choose from to lead you. And look who these are picking to lead them. Drill artists like that. Do you understand? Now, when you've got a kid on the street corner and his whole inspiration of life is becoming the next Trems, you know you've got issues, kid, trust me. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And that's what you're raising in Liverpool now. Just pure kids who think the gangbangers wouldn't last 5 years in a prison cell. You know, look at the kids that get broke off the system and come out and try and be rap artists. Look at them, they go in there, they're spitting in the lyrics that they're all hard. Yeah, I done jail. Jail broke them. Finished them. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And there's loads of knobheads on your street right now who went to jail and it broke them. But they're on your streets now like it never broke them. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's so easy to hide that weakness. It's easy to hide it when you're not put into a situation where you can't hide it.
Shopify's point of sale system helps you sell at every stage of your business. Need a fast and secure way to take payments?
That's just the way it is. It's all over the gaff.
You can rely on.
Running round, running their mouths off, running round on your streets thinking crazy ass gangsters. Got all sorts of gobshites shook of them, and then they go in jail, and it breaks them, mate. Breaks them, ruins them for the rest of their lives. Kaz is saying hello from Brig. Where's Brig, mate? Bam, 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 bam. So the best thing to do is just avoid that. Avoid them circles of knobheads. It's what they are. Just look at them. Look how they move. Yeah, it's alright when one of them gets a car later on and they're floating around now, but look how they move. Look at them. The only thing that makes you a little bit shook of these, oh, they might have a weapon. If you knew they didn't have a weapon, trust me, it is what it is. You probably go to the end of your street and remove it off your coast. That's what you need to be doing. Stop tolerating these knobheads. So you'll have one on your estate who's a drug dealer. That one drug dealer off your estate will have 5 kids with him that are not off your estate. And this one kid and these other 5 are causing crazy madness on your estate. 5 of them little shouldn't even be there. Move them. Oh, are you scared? You've got guns. You can get guns. You're in the same city as them. You know the same people as them. The only difference is you'll be using your firearms to protect your family and your community. They'll be using their firearms to destroy your family and your community. How are you, Pato, kid? Bean. And as I say, if you've been in that life, you can pick things in that life if you want. So I was in that drug dealing life, and I've always had violence about me. So I can leave the drugs alone and just use the violence. You know, I'm not doing it for financial gain. I'm doing it for self-satisfaction. So if I went into that park in Liverpool, went into my hole, dug up my thing, and started behaving like yous, who'd be scared more, me or you? Would I be scared of you looking for me with a gun? Or would you be scared of me looking for you with a gun? Yeah, you fucking know it, don't you? Yes, Alan. So as I say, with these little shithouse rats, if they can pick on someone, they will. If they can't, they won't. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Don't let them pick on you. On your estate. Look, you've got working class dads on these estates. Fit as a fiddle. Strongest, trained all their lives, but they've worked all their lives, never dealt drugs, never got involved in the bullshit. If 4 or 5 of them men put balaclavas on and attack Jews at the bottom of the street, there's all you can do about it. Nothing. You won't have a clue where it's come from. You won't know where to point the finger. And you'll be questioning yourself that who has been that audacious to come onto our patch and put us all in hospital. It'll leave you psychologically finished. And that's what you real men need to do. Think about the future. Think about where your kids are going to be playing. Think about the gunshots that have been getting let off in the last 10 years. Think about the police scenes on your estate. Think about the scenes of crime outside your kids' school. The majority of that bullshit can be removed from this city if certain individuals were taught a lesson. And it's happened within a week. You pick out a few individuals from a particular areas, let's call them top dogs, and you leave them in a mess. Every little vulture underneath them will stand up and listen. Straight away, no ifs or buts. If you go through Mr. Big's door, drag him into a boot, leave him strapped to a lamppost in the middle of a park, everyone that is shit scared of this kid is now shit scared of the people that's done this to him. And if them people start telling them, you need to stop doing A, B and C because if you don't you'll end up on a lamppost, they'll stop. Instantly, overnight. Guaranteed. And the world's becoming that lawless, people. You know, the world's becoming that lawless. In a couple of years' time, 5 to 10 years' time, you are going to have movements like that in your cities because the police aren't fixing it. It's getting worse. There's more kids being shot dead. There's more family homes being destroyed. There's more brothers, mums and sisters developing addictions at the hands of these rats. Trust me. It'll go that way. You'll start having this vigilante groups popping up all over gaff, making sure their estates are able to raise their kids on. You can't let your kid go on your estate. If you're from Sparrow Hall or you're from certain places in Anfield, your kid's not going out after 7 o'clock at night. It's too dangerous. As soon as them shadows come in of a night, it's dangerous out there. And people that live on our estates know that. That's why they don't go out. If you go round our estates and look at the local shops, the majority of them are shut at 8 o'clock. There's no custom. No one steps outside the doors. And this is all down to drug dealing and the violence that comes with it. You know, it's not foreign gangs on your estate making you stay behind your door. It's them local lads that deal drugs that's making you stand behind your door. It's not that foreign group from Albania that's making you shit scared on your estate because there's gunshots going off all over the gaff. It's that little group of rats at the bottom of your street that's letting them gunshots off all over the gaff. And everyone sits there going, but what about these foreigners doing this? What about these doing that? What about them? Yeah, but what about them on your doorstep that have been making your life a misery for decades? The dad, their dad, now their son's at it. He was bullying you, now his son is bullying your kids. Is this the way you want it to be on your estates? It's not, is it, like? You need to wake up, you men who are just sitting back, letting it happen. You know yourself, don't you? You know yourself, mate. They feel inferior to the working class man, you know. They can't do what the working class man can do. Do you understand what I'm saying? They can't get themselves out of bed every morning, get themselves and shaved and washed and out on the street working. They just can't do it. Doesn't matter how hard they try, they can never do what you're doing, and it eats them up. Eats them up, mate. That's why they get jealous of you and shit. So you know when you've got the little dirty drug dealing who sell the weed and all that at the bottom of your street, and then you've got that decent kid that doesn't mix with them, but he walks past them all the time. He's going to work, whether he's working in the Showcase Cinema or whether he's working in a Nasdaq. They're laughing at him. Where are you going, lad, to work? Stacking shelves? Nugget. These are dickheads with no purpose in life, going absolutely nowhere, bullying a kid that's going places with his life, ripping into him because he's stacking shelves in a Asda. The kid's making 16, 70 grand a year. They're making 10 grand if they're lucky. Honest. So, you know, if you're one of them kids who's getting up every morning, getting himself out there into employment, bringing in a regular wage, got your mind focused on your children and your bird and a family home, good on yous. Don't ever put yourselves on a lower pedestal than any drug dealer. Yous are well above every single drug dealer. Right up above here. You look down on them. It's not the other way round. They're not looking down on you. You shouldn't allow that shit. They're the scum. They're the rats. They're the ones that are destroying your community. You look down on them in shame. Let them know. Let them feel. As I say, they don't achieve all. Them drug dealers, they start dealing drugs at 14, 15. You know, they develop addictions. All drug dealers have got an addiction. Doesn't matter what level they're at. They're all on some substance. Every single one of them. Doesn't matter if it's that fella in that £1 million house, he's probably smoking heroin. And the majority of the drug dealers these days, the ones that are dominating the areas, are people that abuse the substance. The majority of the graph-phones in the city of Liverpool now are manned by junkies that smoke crack and smack. So even when you hear like all the recent hard knocks from allegedly so-called game people and hard knocks from the city of Liverpool that's gone to prison over the last 8 years, whether it's through Encro or murders or anything, all of you've heard of the Coggins family, haven't you? He was buying crack off us in 2000, smoking crack. There he is, 20 years later, meant to be the head of a Liverpool mafia. Stuck crackhead. And his second man in command, that Woody, used to score off us when we were kids. Stuck up smackhead, crackhead. Half of these kids that you're seeing getting lifed off, running around the city with the guns on the motorbikes thinking John Rambo, getting themselves 25 wrecks. Crackheads. Every move, every mission that they've ever done, they've been on crack, which has helped them do it. So years ago, you used to have certified kids, full of heart, game. You didn't need crack, you didn't need coke, you didn't need nothing to make you go out the door and put a bullet in his head. These days, the kids can't do it willy-nilly. They've got to be on drugs to be doing that behaviour. And there's loads of them. You know, once you've got a kid on crack, you've got them by the balls, mate. You know, you get a kid on weed, you've got him. You get him on crack, you've definitely got him. And there's loads of kids out there, you know, who's been with that kid in his S4, who's been a crackhead all his life. Have a little lick at this, lad. It's sweet. This kid's impressionable. 16, looking at my man with a Rolex on, looking at my man with an apartment in town, looking at my man in a nice S4. Kids in the Pazzi all impressed. My man's licking crack. This kid thinks it's sweet. Starts licking crack at 16, finished. Life's off. See him in 20 years time if he doesn't get lifed off on your street bumming. One leg missing. It's the way it is, whether you like it or not. That's the way it works. I'd say out of 100 dealers in the city of Liverpool, 60 of them end up smackheads. 60 of them 100 dealers end up smackheads in adult life. These are all facts, lad. They don't like to tell you this shit. If you start dealing drugs, you've got a 50% chance of becoming a smackhead. And you'll sit there going, I'll never be a smackhead. There's just some shit you can't handle. If you're driving round and you're the little dickhead in the car delivering your bits, your Bobby and your white all over the gaff, and you've got these balls of Bobby on this side, the balls of white on this side, they're in your mouth in case police pull you so you can swallow them. Your saliva, every single knot you've got in your mouth is not airtight, and your saliva and water gets in anything. It's the most powerfulest thing in the world, water. Your saliva is a version of that water. When you've got bits, ball of tennia, and you're taking one out, giving it to that punter, and you're talking, and the saliva's getting in there, you'll know as a grafter, after a couple of hours, your heroin starts going darker and damp. It's only getting damp because there's an opening in the bag. If there's an opening in the bag, you're going to get particles of that heroin coming out the opening of the bag with the saliva. Now you've got particles of crack and you've got particles of heroin going in your saliva, being swallowed back into your system. Now you do this every day for months, not realising you're establishing an addiction. You only know you've created an addiction within yourself when you start rattling. And I've watched many of men, many of lads, running around, grafting, selling bits with the shit in their mouth. They weren't double wrapping the bits, they weren't double bagging the bits, just single bagging them straight in the mouth. A year down the line, on crack. 4 years down the line, they're cracking smackheads and not even grafting no more because they've robbed every... And trust me, lad, when I'm telling you, with addictions now. They've been addiction, peddling drugs to new people who they're giving addictions to. So, you see me, you know, if I've gone through a life of addiction, you know, if I've been in messes over addiction, I would be going all out to prevent him or her developing an addiction. In our communities, you've got people ruined in addiction, peddling the shit that ruined them to brand new young minds, knowing quite well this kid's going to be for the next 20 or 30 years addicted to drugs. And it is what it is. If you're taking it personal because you're a drug dealer, it's your own fault, mate. I'm not shouting your name out. Don't shout mine out, you'll be sweet. When I'm speaking about drug dealers, I'm generalising drug dealers. I'm not coming on your front doorstep going, you dirty drug dealer. I'm speaking about you. I'm speaking about all of yous. If you want to take it personal, you can. what I'd do on the back of what I'm speaking is assess yourself. Open up your mind. Come away from the substance a little bit. Get a bit of clarity in your vision and look at the damage you're doing to yourself, your family and your community. Money is never going to replace the years you're going to lose. Trust me. Doesn't matter how much money you make in that dirty world, the amount of years lost is going to damage you later on. All them years you're dealing drugs, going in and out of prison, committing shit crimes, in and out, 20 years to turn around and go, you know what, I need to stop this now, it's not working. This is what they do. This is what they all do. Eventually they go, you know what, I need to stop going to prison. I need to stop dealing drugs because it's just not working for me. But it's took them 20 years, traumatic situations, violence and everything for them to work that out. I'm coming in while you're in your first year of dealing drugs. And I'm telling you now, stop it. Because you're going to have 20 years of major bullshit in your life. And the amount of energy and the amount of commitment and the amount of effort from you to keep yourself on that path in that life is massive. Massive. If you put the same effort, the amount of effort that you're putting in on yourselves to stay on that path of making money and committing crime, the amount of effort, if you just put the effort over there, you'd make exactly the same amount of dough. Might be slower, but it'll last longer. And this is what I always used to say to people years ago. When it comes fast, it doesn't last. When it comes slow, it will grow. If you're spending 8 hours in a day to earn 60 quid, you are going to cherish that £60. If you're going out committing a crime and getting £100 in an hour, you're not going to cherish that £100. You'll spend it just the way it came in, dead fast. When you're working hard for it, you're not looking to spend it dead fast. You're not willing to go out for 8 hours, work like and come home and in 5 minutes, them 8 hours wages is gone. You know, you save, you build on it. And over a long period of time, trust me, you're better off. You are 10 times better off choosing the life instead of the knife life. Do you understand what I'm saying? You mightn't see it now because you're caught up in a mess exactly where they want you to be. They want you to be in that mindset. They want you focusing on dealing drugs to get your money. You know, with plotting on dealing drugs, you start plotting on people. You start becoming more poisonous. You start becoming more greedy. You know, you're not happy with your little grand a week now. You want to try and get it to 15 ton a week. When you start stepping on their toes, it goes off. And there you are. You know, one injury can ruin your life. One injury can ruin your life, mates. And the majority of the injuries in that life, you know, some people don't live off them. So as always, like I've always screamed, like I've always shouted, just listen to me, lad. Bail that shit. I don't give who your mates are. I don't give you feel lonely when you're not with them and all this bullshit. Come away from them. Just stand back for a little month and look how they're carrying on. Look how loose they've become. Look at the risks they're taking now. When they first started off, it was all under the covers. There was no violence, there was no harassment of police. Look at them 16 months later. Give them another year, they're all getting nicked, they're all getting put in jail. If you're sat next to them, you mightn't be dealing drugs. You might just be floating around with them in the cars, going on holiday and all this shit. When they get took down, you're going with them. Simple. Just remove yourself from them negative circles of friends. Even if you've got to be alone, You know, protect yourself at all costs, lad. You putting yourself in that group, that's not protecting yourself. That's putting yourself at risk.